So, the other day, we were out and about, and we had a couple of cars with us. This was one of them. FTX Bugsta. Now, literally, it probably ran for about, I'm going to say, a minute. And it caught fire. Yep, there was a small fire. So, I had a quick look at the time, obviously, because I wanted to know what was on fire. And I know that there were some wires that had burned. But at that specific time, I see the wires, and I said to myself, that's it. Not going to be able to mend it here. Forget it. So I chucked it in a bush. Picked it up later on that day. So let's have a look to see what we've got going on here. So we've got wires that come out. They come from the motor. Let's see if I can zoom you in a little bit. Right, that should be a bit better for you. So we've got these wires here, look. They come from the motor. And what they've done is they've melted. And I must stress, I must stress to you, we was not using any lipos or anything, because this version of the Bugsta has a brushed motor and it's not a lipo one. A lot of people, including model shops, even though it says in the instructions clearly in capital letters, do not use lipos. Model shops, even the one that I bought it from, told me to use a lipo with it. It's wrong. Anyway, we was using this battery, nickel metal hydrate battery, 1800 watt. So we was using that battery, and what's happened is these wires have melted together. The insulation has melted, and yeah, they've melted together, and that's obviously what's caused some smoke, and that caused it to stop working. So now I reckon it's only the wires for the motor, so I should be able to mend this, but it's whether it's shorted the ESC out. If it shorted the ESC out, then we're going to have a bit of trouble, and I can't get that connector apart. I might have to get a pair of pliers on there and pull that apart. Positive, it's probably got really hot and it's stuck it together. Anyway, so yeah, it's the two wires from the motor that have melted together, and obviously they shorted out to get, look, there they are, look, you can see them there. So, positive and negative. I should be able to mend this. Should be able to just get that wire off of there, put a new wire on. If I can get them two to come apart, I should be able to get them apart, put a new wire together. Hopefully, we'll be mended. Why did they get so hot that they melted? That's a question we have to ask ourselves, but we'll find out. Right, a few hours later now, I'm going to go and do something else, and I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was just putting these two wires apart, wasn't I? Because I think they've gotten hot. I don't care. Might have to get a little screwdriver. I don't care if I break this one, but I don't want to break the one that goes to the ESC, because that's still good. I mean, I can repair it, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to break it if I can avoid breaking it. And these have obviously got really hot, and sort of fused themselves together by the looks of it. There we go. I wonder if that's got it. There we go. Now we're apart. Happy days. Right. So we can see here, look, that's where it's melted on the positive, and that's where it's melted down. The negative actually melted completely in bits, but they went together. So I wonder if I can get these off, because I put this motor on because this car has burnt out now. I think it's burnt out, was it 2 original FTX motors, and then someone, I can't remember who, where did it come from? Sorry if you sent me this motor and I've forgotten who you were. It was a year or so ago. I genuinely can't remember where this motor came from. But someone gave me this motor and they said stick it in your carnage because, you know, it'll be good. So that's what I did. But I can't remember. Did I solder them on? I might have soldered them on. If I've soldered them on, I'm going to have to desolder it, obviously. It looks like I did, because that looks like heat shrink now. Oh, fuck. Just cut the battery wire. We'll pretend I did that. I didn't just cut the battery wire. No. No, didn't just cut the battery wire. Oh yeah, look. Soldered them on. Right, let's switch on the good old soldering iron. Let's get the good old soldering iron heating up. And I can desolder that, and I should be able to desolder that one from the bottom. As long as I can cut off that heat shrink. I've got some new, I've got some nice silicone wire that we can redo these wires with. And I'll just solder them all on. I'm not going to bother putting any crimps or anything on them. I'm just going to solder them on. There we go. That's that now, ready to be desoldered. Let the soldering iron heat up and away we go. Cool. Bit smelly, this soldering iron. Don't know what I've been melting with it. It bloody stinks. It smells like dead rats. We got over here. Need a nice bit of rag. That's this old baby grow here. Look, we can clean that. Don't want to put anything contaminated on it because it'll ruin my solder. Oh, that's a nice bit of towel. I'm about to use that. It's done the job. Right.
Ben!
Hello.
Can I make it?
Make what?
Cake.
You're gonna make your cake. There's that positive wire come off. Looks like I've got to go and bake a cake. Back in a minute.
Because
Right. While she's in there sorting out, making her cake mix, I'm going to have to go and do the oven in a minute. But anyway, where were we? That's where I was. Let's put the soldering on there for a minute. I just don't want to get off of there, you. Don't want to get too much of this insulation on my iron. Stick that on there. That's that desoldered. Happy days. How on earth? How on earth that decided to melt like that? I mean, it was running like a minute. I mean, she only went down a very light gravelled path, and then all of a sudden it just stopped and started smoking because these two wires had melted together. Look, that's mad, isn't it? Don't know what would have caused that soon. I mean, I'd understand if it had been running, you know, for half an hour flat out or something like that, or even 5 minutes flat out on some grass or something. That would cause a bit of a problem. But that wasn't the case. Anyway, so what I've got here, I've got a little bag of some, this is silicone wire, very good stuff. A lot better than what was on it. The only trouble is it'll be better than this side on this ESC, so we might end up with a bit of a problem where we end up melting these wires now, but they shouldn't be melting, so I don't know what that's all about. We'll just ignore the fact that it melted and carry on with life as you should do. Get a little bit of wire there. I only need a little bit. Yeah, I don't need a lot, I only need a little bit. About that much will do the trick. I'll make them a bit longer than, well no, should I? Yeah. Solid. Make it about that long, that should be fine. I know, I can already hear you lot saying you don't want to make it too long because then it'll cause too much resistance, and then you'll do this and then you'll do that and then it will melt and then blah 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 bollocks. All a load of bollocks. Well, it is true. The longer the wire, you lose a certain amount of amperage for each. I don't know what it is. There's a calculation, but the longer it is, the more power you lose, the more amps you lose. But in an application like this, I really don't care. I mean, it is not even worth worrying about. It really isn't. And this length is a nice length anyway. So this silicone wire is a very nice wire. I got it from Active Scale Models back when they were a good shop. I don't know what they're like now. I've not been down there, so but when they were a really good shop at one point, and I got this nice silicone wire from them. It's good quality. It's not Chinese. I don't know where it's from, but he assured me it wasn't from China, and it certainly feels like it's not from China. It feels good. Normally the Chinese stuff, it might feel good on the outside, but when you take it apart, there's only a few strands of wire. But this, look, you got like a brush. There's loads of wire in there. It's lovely, and you can properly twist it up, nice and thick. A bit too thick for what we're trying to do here, but it'll do the job. So that's the positive. Let's sort out the negative. Happy days. Thing is to remember, if you do cut too much insulation off, providing you've got enough length that is, you can always snip the end of the wire off there if you want to, if you've got too much wire showing. I like to do a little bit more than I think I'm going to need, because then at least I haven't got to go back and then try and snip some more insulation off later on, you know what I mean? You can just fanny around like that then, can't you? I need to get some heat shrink, really. Let me go and find the tub of heat shrink somewhere. Alright, I think all I've got left, I did have a couple of different tubs. This is all I've got left. I've been doing, oh, I've got red. There we go. Is that going to be big enough though? Is that big enough for this wire? Oh, not quite. It's too small for that wire. It won't go over it. What a bastard that is. This other stuff's too fat. I mean, look at that. You don't want that stuff. Bloody massive. Well, I did have loads of heat shrink, but what's this yellow stuff like? Yellow's the same as the red. Oh, that's a shame. Right, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, well, I'm going to try and make the other heat shrink work. But if it don't work, it don't work. I mean, it ain't the end of the bloody world, is it? Right. Let's try and get this on here then. Shut up. Right, I've managed to get that larger heat shrink there to go around now. If it will ever focus on it. There we go. I managed to get that to sort of go on there. At least it protects it a little bit. So that's the positive cable done. Now I've just got to get the negative one on, which is a lot easier because it's right there. And then I can solder. I'm not going to bother putting bullet connectors on all that other bollocks. I'm just going to solder them on. I don't expect it to last. I reckon it would have shorted out the ESC, and I think it's not going to work anyway. And if it does work, I'm expecting it to melt somewhere else. If these new wires don't melt, I'm expecting something else to melt somewhere else, to be honest. So, you know, I am dubious. I mean, why did it melt? I mean, I know obviously you lot are going to have your opinions. You're going to say, well, you done this, you done that. I mean, what do you expect? And all this other bollocks, you know. But I know what I did. I know what happened. Turned it on, gave it to the kids. They drove it up the road, and then there we go. That's where the problem occurred. Right. Clean that off. A little bit of heat shrink on there. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot. That can go on there like that. Happy days. There we go. That's that one done. Protected. Now we can solder these on. I decided to push that all the way down there, didn't I? Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Because now I want it up out. I want it here now. Hopefully I can twist it. Get it to go back down. There we go. Little pliers. This is like surgery, isn't it? Surgery for RC cars. Hello.
Play ball.
Play ball. You want to play ball, do you?
Yeah, you and me.
You and me?
Yeah.
Alright, let me just look. I'm mending your car.
My car?
Yeah, I'm just mending it for you. So if you just let me finish it off, and then we go and play ball, yeah?
What? Where's your car?
Yeah, because remember it caught on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just mending it, and then we'll.
I smell that milk.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
What, the solder?
No, I smell milk.
The smoke.
Yeah.
Ah, what, when it caught fire?
Yeah.
My God, really?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't in here, was it? It was on holiday.
No, I smell that. Oh, nah.
Yeah, solder. I said, can you smell solder? And you said no. Right, let's get this done. Juggling it on a couple of pairs of pliers here at the moment.
What?
But I've got plenty of flux in there, so it should all just flow where I want it to flow. I don't want it to burn down other wires. Hopefully that's got it. One negative. It has got it. I'm just going to drop a bit in the back, just to make sure. That's definitely got it now. That ain't going nowhere, nowhere. Alright, positive, and then we'll be away. Alright, last one. I dare say someone's going to come up with some rubbish about why I shouldn't be soldering these. There's always someone that comes up with something to tell you can't do something because of this, because of that. But trust me, I've soldered loads of these in the past, and we have no problem. Soldering is a better connection than it would be if it was a connector anyway. As long as you can get the blooming solder in there. There it goes. Happy days. Right, let's clean off the iron. Put that back. Turn that off, I don't need that anymore. Zoomage outerage. That's still extremely hot, but that's alright. I'll just put this piece of rubber back over there, that'll be absolutely fine. That'll just be perfect. Right, now let's see, is it gonna work? I'm coming to play ball. I'm just fixing your car. Let me just fix your car. And then I've got to go and finish off baking a cake. Alright, are you going to have some cake?
Yeah.
Right, okay, well, let's sort this out then. Got some batteries for this transmitter and we'll have a look. Right. Batteries in there. Right, that's on. Right, where's that battery gone that I had? Alright, battery here. Well, it's on. There isn't any smoke yet. Might be a good sign. Wow, it seems to be working. I don't think it actually did kill anything. Well, there we go, you lot. An FTX Carnage potentially working again. I'm coming. I told you. Let me finish. Right, that's that then. Done. It's going to be proof in the pudding now. I'm going to have to take it out. I'm going to have to test it and see if it melts any more wires, if anything else breaks. And then we might try and find out why that actually did that. It obviously didn't short the battery out. It was a bit sluggish. It probably discharged it quite quick. Probably drew quite a few amps out of it when it shorted it to positive and negative, you know. But there we go. It's tidy up, put all my flux and everything away, all my cutters and everything. That's another job ticked off the list. FTX, not Carnage. Do I keep calling this a Carnage? It ain't a bloody Carnage, it's a Bugsta. FTX Bugsta. It's not a Carnage, it's a Bugsta. Haven't got an electric Carnage, only nitro. Right, there it is then, all back together again. I will go and give it a test probably and see what it's all about. If this breaks again, I was toying with the idea last time when it burnt the motor out. I was going to just convert it to brushless and get a different ESC, and then I couldn't do it. But it would work out more expensive to do that than it would be to go and buy a brushless Bugsta, brand new. But obviously it would be better than a standard brushless Bugsta if I was to do it myself, because I could get a better ESC, better motor, and it would just be the nuts. But then it'd go down that road of being too powerful. But anyway, it doesn't matter. There's no plans, no intentions. It's fixed. Very easy and simple fix. Hopefully I tried to show as much as I could so that if you have any problems like this, you can see how easy and how simple it is to do a bit of simple wiring. All you need is a soldering iron. You know, there is better ways of doing it than I done it, but then again, I don't do things properly. I just bodge things up. But as long as it works. If it works, is it really a bodge? No, it's not. Thanks for watching, you lot. Treat everyone nicely. Treat people equally. And we'll all have a very nice, happy life. Treat people how you want to be treated, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheerio, you lot. All the best.